this by just kind of doing a quick review of Brent Faiyaz's album because
Mhm.
this album has shot up to top 5 of the year for me after being out 1 week. I did not come into the year expecting R&B music to be crowding my top 5. I am not mad at it, but this Brent Faiyaz album sounds like Pharrell produced it in the early 2000s. It is so damn good. My favorite one right now is the ASAP Rocky one because
Mhm.
he's rapping, he's singing on it, and then the girl who's featured on it, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. N3WY. This is a thing for artists. Make your name being able to search it on Apple Music or Spotify easier. Because what are we doing here? That's a complicated name. But this album is so good. And if you're an R&B fan or need to become an R&B fan, bump this Brett album. It is amazing.
Have you heard it yet, Philip?
No, I've been meaning to. Everyone's promoting it on Twitter and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't listen to
Me
albums
and
till like
Philip,
a
me and
month.
Philip are on the same boat because I haven't listened to it yet. I know it's bad, but we'll get to it. Don't worry. Life's been
Yeah.
busy, right?
Yeah. It's hard. There's so much music coming out. I haven't listened to Sampha yet. I just haven't had the time to find that
Mhm.
album. And that's something that I've been waiting for years. It's difficult these
I
days.
kind of have a
Mhm.
take on that album.
On the Sampha album?
Yeah, I've listened to it a
Hey,
few times, man. I think it's like, it's very much aimed at people who like good albums. Like it has all the parts that a good album should have, but I'm not actually sure if it is good to listen to. You know what I mean? Like
interesting.
it's very much like I don't know, it feels like it was made for critics almost. Like he put in all the stuff that an awesome album should have,
Yeah.
but then I listen to it and I'm kind of like
Yeah.
it does have good songs, and it really does. But I don't know. I wouldn't call him a feature artist, but he's
Mhm.
kind of a behind the scenes
I,
guy, and it feels like
Mhm.
behind the scenes type music almost.
hmm. I
Yeah.
mean, that makes sense. There's certain artists who, and I don't want to discredit them, that they might have great albums, but are kind of known as great feature artists. I mean, we'll see if this Ty Dolla Sign Kanye album actually comes out.
Mhm.
BJ the Chicago Kid is someone who I'm always like amazing feature whenever he's on a song. But I don't think I've ever heard a BJ the Chicago Kid album. That's on me. I'm not
Mhm.
sure if he has a great album out.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lil Durk is one of those too. I thought he was more popular
Yeah.
than he is because he's on a lot of big songs, but then I look at his albums and they only have like a couple million streams on Spotify per song, like if
Yeah.
that. And I actually like the albums, but I'm like, yeah, no one listens to these. Unfortunately, no one listens to
Yeah.
this.
Dirk has an interesting career where, because me and Sam have talked about this, where Sam was like, oh, he's like a rising artist. And I'm like, oh, he was on Double XL in 2013.
Yep.
So it's one hand really impressive how long he's been around. And it's a mixture of he's really famous, but he's really not that famous.
Yeah.
It's a confusing
I
one.
think he's doing the best he can. I remember when I got my first car in 2017, and the car salesman was like, "You like music?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "You gotta listen to Lil Durk, man. He's up next." And then, I was like, "Okay, whatever, bro. This is probably your friend or something." And then,
Yeah.
I found out and I obviously got reintroduced to him in 2020 when Laugh Now, Cry Later came out, and I was like, "Oh
Great
shit,
song.
that's the guy who my car salesman told me to listen to 3 years ago or something."
And
Yeah.
his song on Certified Lover Boy, I also really liked. I'm
Mhm.
forgetting what the name is, but I like he shouts out his girlfriend's cosmetic
Yeah,
line.
yeah. I think he
But
actually.
that's how it is right now. With I guess the music space currently, you don't need to have an album per se. If you can make hit songs, be a feature on a hit song. I mean, that's all that's needed. But personally, I love Lil Durk. After that, All My Life hit the streets. That's been jamming all throughout 2023. But